today.
Yeah, we're gonna see how well they can kind of solve those. I want to say one of the victories for Infinity, I believe, was Black Sentence.
A good team.
Black is okay. Yes.
I don't want to set expectations. But yeah, it was a Black Sentence that they were able to get their victory over. So both of these teams kind of scrambling, wanting to get, like we said, this is the last moment this week. Is the last moment for a lot of these teams to kind of prove their prowess, to start getting some of those practices kind of out of the way. Not that I want to say that they've been practicing out here, but I feel like some teams, they kind of have had drafts that can be a little bit more experimental than we're used to seeing here. A lot of bans coming out, still waiting to see if we're going to get that Zushin ban or if we're going to be scooping that up here very quickly.
Yes, as well as Boxia is still open for them here. They're taking out that gold lane here. They don't want to deal with that. It has been a force here in the Swiss stages. So they just want to take that out just for now. I'm sure it's going to be opened up later for them to choose from. They went ahead and took out Guinevere here, Kalia, Marcel, and Freya. With broken walls here, that'll be easier for them to maneuver around the map.
Yeah, the one thing that we can expect here, as Private was saying about about Fanboy, that he can bring something out of the box here, because he was responsible for bringing Lolita, for example, in the first game, the first weekend here versus DreamHack. He already brought a chip also here in the second game, so we can expect that he can bring something different. But we are here that we can expect a very chaotic game, because Infinity guarantee a first pick in Zunshi.
Yes.
Yeah, that's gonna leave open the Boxia pickup. The Harley is taken off the board by the side of Rage, or by the side of Titan Esports. You said, yeah, Lolita, Bellaric. He's had kind of, I want to say, the outside box picks when it comes to roam positions, but then, you know, the conversation always kind of comes down to, is it too far outside of the box for them, or is it going to be something that can work for them? Ooh, some very, very tanky, a tanky front line coming out immediately for the side of Titan Esports.
Yeah, speaking of that box, yeah, I guess to kind of answer with the Zushin, be able to get to her fairly quickly without getting caught, right? Because his movement's pretty quick and he can get around very fast. We got Glue here. I feel like Glue has not been doing very well in the Swiss stages. Like, he seems to, I don't know. He hasn't. He's just not that great from what I've seen. I mean, like, when people play him outside of the tournaments, he does a wonderful job. Everyone's afraid of him. But here, he's not been that scary for them.
Yeah, and I mean, like, Glue here is it can be an ally, or it can not impact so positively here in the team, as we saw in the last game. You know, like in the very ending of the game, and we saw his body on the floor, right? Do you remember, like, the Alpha 7 was trying to finish the game, and it was especially like, it's like, okay, so that is the Glue like that. The camera focused on the Glue, on Patrick laying down on the floor. But jokes aside, Glue, if you find a very solid composition, he can work well, especially to being independent on the XP lane to get a 1v1 comfortable, you know, like not compromise the team's performance. So he can be one very important ally if the draft fit very well with Glue in that composition. But now we are at Infinity once again. A Fanboy bringing Chip in the roaming.
Actually, for me, I think I've seen this before too. Infinity were able to kind of use the chip to really, like, hunker down and surprise Boxia in the jungle. To where I feel like Boxia does decently in the early game with those 1v1s, those surprise in the laning phase, and then as the game progresses, he's tankier enough to kind of withstand a lot of these a lot of the aggression of like multiple members. But in the early game, if Infinity can really start getting the drop on him underneath his jungle where his team's not ready, and you've got basically the entire team coming in and bursting on him, this might be a successful right there for the side of Infinity. Here, gonna see what else they kind of have left out there. The Eve, I just right now I don't feel like there is an answer to get back to the Zushin. Eve, all of these are basically answered by Zushin having a flicker, Zushin having an ult that can displace where she's at. And I kind of am wondering, what are we going to be able to be as aggressive as we want on the Titan Esports Club side?
Yeah, this is true. Zushin does have that great escapability here, but they're going ahead and picking up this Wan. Okay. All right, Wan.
Yeah.
They banned out a Julian too. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I was looking for a Goose's nickname in the lineup here, but no, it's not him. It's for Fury here in the gold lane, for Titan Esports. I have to get used to it. The new branding team, like the Titan Esports. But I think that is going to be very interesting here, because with our ultimate here, the guy's invulnerable for a little time here, like versus the lantern from Zushin can stack in the crowd control, or even like chip to get some kind of an engage, especially with the rest of the crew. So can be one very good response. But now talking about like interesting things, we're seeing the Barretts here in Infinity's composition with Lapu Lapu Private.
Yeah, for me, I feel like this composition is saying one thing: we want to get these head-on. They're looking for head-on collisions with the enemy, and they're looking to hold a strong, firm front line to allow Zushin to kind of spray on that damage, to hopefully give carry time to get those items. And once we're in the late game, this front line will be that CC heavy tankiness that carry needs to just spray away at them without much worry.
It's looking like maybe they're trying, like you said, trying to find that answer for that Zushin. They're trying to think if CC can jump back there and probably slow her down enough and dish out that damage for her to kind of get to her. But we shall see if this will work.
Yeah. The idea is very interesting here if the composition works very well, especially with the execution. Barrett's heading in the jungler here versus Boxer. Two tankies here. And now Barrett has the ability with ultimate to isolate one enemy here, for example, to throw him in the rest of the crew, or a fanboy here with the chips to call the rest of the crew here in a possible team fire, in a possible engage using the portal. So there are so many options here to Infinity to create in this game that Titan Esports has to take care about that.
Yeah, that is a really interesting thing here too. I feel like there's a lot of interesting things on the side of Infinity. I do like that we have 3 possibilities on the side of Titan Esports here to try to get to that back line. But ladies and gentlemen, if you stayed with us, thank you so much thus far. As we move on to our final series of the night, it is Titan Esports Club taking on Infinity. Both teams vying for their positions in this best of 5 series.
It's the battle for survival. It's the battle here for life or death to both teams. Let's go, everybody. Welcome to the Land of Dawn. Titan Esports versus Infinity.
Yeah, you can see, I want to say, kind of even when it comes to both of their jungling speed. I see a decent amount of damage already laying on to Steph, looking for that Lethal Wanderer. Hotun's going to go ahead and scoop that up quickly. There's a lot of different factors and boxes that need to be checked for both of these teams to be successful. Barats is really interesting here as well, because he's one of those that needs to maintain his stacks. He needs to continually keep keep moving and farming and finding that pathing so that he can keep those audio attacks up, so he has all of his stacks to get that max amount of health, max amount of defense and damage that he can output as well. Meanwhile, I kind of like the CC here, just because when that ultimate comes out, it's gonna stick Lionel on that Zushin, so they're not gonna be able to really teleport too far away. They're gonna be stuck to whoever they were closest to, and that might provide the opening for Titan Esports to be able to find a successful gank onto them. You see the split is out, but both teams, Steph on the back end looking for an escape. Fanboy right there to guide his team to safety.
We saw the Titan Esports, they did not want to fight in that situation because we saw Hotun fighting guaranteeing the beetle in the jungle. But now the turtle, here comes.
Yeah, Steph actually takes a heap of damage down. Down comes the real world manipulation from Syndrak. Is that going to be enough? ZZ gets taken down. Hotun takes down the turtle. Now trying to turn it around. 2 down for the side of Infinity. Unanswered on the side of Titan Esports Club.
2-0 for Titan Esports plus the turtle here. It's the perfect combo for the team. Infinity trying to find an angle, trying to fight something, but all that they found is kills, is the death. And the turtle against here. But okay. Almost 3 minutes here. The early game comes for a Titan Esports so far, but let's see what is going to happen.
Yeah, 2-0 right now for the side of Titan, as the rest of Infinity looking to kind of get on. Oh, actually another gank onto Lionel, who's gonna have to use that ultimate defensively. Feel like Titan is doing a great job of being able to get to that back line, get to Lionel to really surprise them off as well. No kills on Lionel just yet, but that already speaks mounds for their ability to get to that back line and to surprise the Zushin pick.
It's going to be very interesting matchup here, especially to trying to find this angle, to trying to find this backline here to neutralize Lionel here with Zushin. It's a very strong hero that we have seen so far here in AMER South, being prioritized almost 100%, or banned or picked. But now there possibly a dive here in the top side. No, Fanboy is heading up here to help Rusi. But now he changed the mind. He's roaming now for the mid lane. While Steph here. Oh, here comes. Boom.
Yeah, Hotun does land on the Fanboy inside of that bush. A little bit of a surprise probably for both members there. 9 seconds left up on this turtle. ZZ continually keeping those stacks up to base. Up to date there now. Damage starting to come up onto this turtle. ZZ's gonna be the first one. You see on the back end, Syndrak's gonna use that flicker immediately. Out comes the other mage for Infinity. Zushin able to find a kill there as well. ZZ now looking for an opportunity. Oh, nice. Lionel doing a good job keeping 2 members of the side of Titan Esports onto the backside. In comes Steph deep into enemy territory. Immediately gets cleaned up by Rusi. Another pickup there onto Hotun, and down goes the turtle. ZZ able to scoop that one up for his team and tie them when it comes to kills.
I'm trying to figure out what Steph tried to do using the flicker, trying to head in the backline, maybe to surprise Lionel with the Zushin. That was an idea, but he was completely neutralized. But now, meanwhile, in the bottom lane here, the first turret, I'm sorry, for Infinity. Oh my goodness, Private. Infinity is back in the game.
Yeah, I really feel like Steffi thought that he was going to be able to flicker and get the max amount of stacks onto ZZ so that he would be able to use that ultimate, which he would be untouchable, and maybe be able to like scoot him out. Unfortunately, there was just some great positioning by ZZ. Ooh, speaking of positioning, real world manipulation is out, and no worse for wear either team. 2-3 right now, but I feel like he flickered in thinking that he'd get the invulnerability he gets with the ultimate, but ZZ was in a great position and didn't take the bait. He was way down at the bottom, so that Steffi actually got bursted down before he could even reach him. So great call there by Infinity. And yeah, you can see I want to say that the side of Titan just trying to do their best to try to get to that back lines.
So far here. Oh, once again.
Yeah, Lionel with that lantern now spraying on damage. Ooh, we did have a crossbow attack that kind of went out there. Not enough damage just yet, but Hotun down, killed up by Rusi as Lionel gonna have to back up a little bit, spraying down that damage onto Arctic. You can see a big push coming in here for mid, trying to see if the side of Titan Esports can save this mid tower, and they are able to put down those minions.
I'm starting to think that Zunshin maybe can be a Thanos in this meta so far, because every team here, okay, she's not 100% with the win rate, but you'll see now how Infinity is working so well in that composition around Leonel playing with Zunshin, because she's always a dangerous situation, even because of her lantern that can suppress someone if she stacks the lantern here. So that is why he can play so very aggressive. That is why he can play trying to flank, trying to do something. But now here comes Hotun because the turtle here is in half HP. Let's go.
Ooh. Lands onto Lionel. Is that going to be enough? Zablacha able to find a kill onto Arctic. Down come a little bit of stunts. Crossbow has been activated. Did you see that? Reese finds a kill of his own. Hotun finds a double. Is that going to be enough? It looks like, I can't tell who the turtle went over to, but tying up the game, 2 kills for both of these teams.
I think that the turtle went to Titan Esports here, considering they have 2 turtles here. I'm so sorry about that. I have to be honest. But I was checking out on Zablox, because he was 1v1 in the top side that guarantee 1 more kill. That could be that could be better for Infinity if they didn't lose the team fight around the turtle. But as we can see here, the items so far, we're seeing the corrosion side and the golden staff in Carrie's hand, heading now for probably the demon hunter, while 1-1 have the winds, the voice of the wind, the corrosion site also here, heading for the 3rd one, maybe also to the demon hunter so far. But the game is so even here, my friend Private. Okay, the map advantage goes for Infinity because they already taken down the turret in the top side and in the bottom lane also. But the goal lead here is even for both teams, just a little bit ahead for Infinity. And now Fanboy always playing aggressive, always trying to fight something, always trying to get this info for Infinity. But oh, Zablox.
Yeah, they're going to go in now, trying to put the pressure onto them. Out comes the ultimate for the Zushins. Hotun able to find a kill onto Zabloch. The rest of Infinity now trying to back up. Fanboy taking a heap of damage. Out comes the real world manipulation to trap them. Lido in trouble, getting ganked up on as Arctic closes the distance. 2 down for the side of Infinity. 5-7 as Titan Esports Club claim another 2 kills.
It is a caster's curse that I always talk about here. I was making a compliment for Infinity's performance, and now here comes Titan Esports with a very well play in the bottom lane, guaranteeing 2 kills. But now the Lord is on the pit. But now both teams are aware of that, and maybe we will have another team fight.
Yeah, the difference here is when the Lord's being reset, we've got 2 kills on the side of Titan Esports over Infinity. But when you're looking at the macro, when you're looking at the towers, there's already all of the tier 1 towers have been taken down for the side of Titan Esports. We're going to start putting some pressure up at the top. So that speaks well for the side of Infinity. They might not be winning all of the fights, but they're doing great when it comes to their rotations, when it comes to putting pressure onto the towers. And we all know that is what wins games. And especially as we start getting a little bit later, I feel like we're gonna have a couple more issues on the side of Infinity that you're gonna have to deal with if you're Titan Esports. The one thing though, is I don't feel like we're really making use of this chip pick just yet. We're not really isolating. We're not really able to make use of those portals to get a big surprise ganks on the side of Titan Esports. So I feel like it's almost kind of being a little bit of a wasted pick. You can see Steph on the side being very patient, waiting for their time to go in on this pickup. I don't even know if anybody there. Finally, Rusi checks that side of the bush to get them some vision. Pop up actuated by the Lord. Now Zablotch taking a huge amount of damage to fight onto the right side there. You see that the Vengeance activated by Arctic and too low. Lionel finds the kill onto Syndrak, and Hotun finds one onto Rusi. 1 for 1 right now as the ultimate has been activated for Lionel. Gets that repositioning out there, and Infinity continues their damage on to this Lord. You see Hotun lying in wait, waiting for the opportunity to come in. 50% left on this. Hotun, this is too much. You might want to be paying attention to it. 40%, 25%. Is this going to be enough? Hotun finds the retribution on to the Lord, claiming it for Titan Esports Club.
Hotun, the 10th of hearts, the 10th on Lords here. Okay, Stefan is going to, okay, now he's able to survive. Will be, that's very, very hard for him. Now guarantee one more kill for Lionel. Okay, once again, there it is. Patrick is on the floor, but it's a worthy sacrifice so far here, Private, because Titan Esports guarantee the Lord that is already marching on the bottom lane.
Yeah, it's definitely a good trade there, especially to try to take the team's attention away from trying to punish Titan Esports for getting this Lord. Now you're going to have a free Lord right now. You're going to be taking down some towers. Finally, hopefully able to even up the macro on their side. Like I said, they haven't really been doing great when it comes to a lot of the pushes just yet. They've been waiting on this Lord to come in. Oh, that's going to be a tier 2 possibly for the side of Titan Esports. Now moving their attention to the mid, looking for an opportunity. ZZ comes up to the top. Oh, does not run into Titan side just yet, but still minions starting to crash in. Top is being held at bay just well, and we don't have a fight signaled just yet for either of these teams. Oh, Steffi actually goes in pretty deeply. Is going to get pulled back. 3 members of the side of Infinity looking to try to put the damage on. Steffi in trouble as Lionel finds the kill there. Real world inflation comes out. Rusi onto the back line, finds himself a stun, and Arctic able to take down Zablotch. A great job by both of these teams trying to find the nails in the coffin. 2 down for each. Rusi and Lionel trying to find themselves an escape. A long way to go. Rusi tried to drag them away, but was unsuccessful.
What a massive damage coming from Lionel, but it wasn't enough to survive. It wasn't enough to, it was not enough to guarantee the kill here. 4 players down of Infinity here. Guarantee one more team fight in favor for Titan Esports. That didn't play the macro so well in the early game, but now they're compensating him. They're compensating it. They already taken down the turret in the bottom lane, and now the focus is in the mid lane here. Now Arctic once again with the hard yo-yos here from CC, causing so much damage, and now the focus is at the tower number 2 in the mid lane, but now they decide to head back.
I was about to ask, you ever gotten hit in the head with a yo-yo? Those things are not soft. And when you got Arctic and CC just throwing hundreds of them at you per second, it's gonna leave some lasting damage. Here, right now, the team formerly known as Influence Rage, Titan Esports Club, having a dominant game right now. It's still pretty even when it comes to the gold, but finally able to kind of crack back at Infinity, who is still doing a good job of keeping up the macro. They've only got, I mean, they're both sitting at +1 to their high grounds. I want to say there's a few more on the side of Infinity, so I think they're sitting a little bit more comfortable. But right now there, Infinity having a lot of trouble when it comes to some of these team fights. We're starting to get out of the laning phase. Macro up at top for Rusi, who's going to be able to claim himself the final tier 2 tower on the side of Influence Rage. Zablotch is kind of going a little close, gets popped up there. 50% left onto this Lord. Arctic is going to be found out by Fanboy. Steffi has the concealed play out. Now trying to put the damage on to Zabloch, who uses the flicker to get out of harm's way. Is it going to be enough? Real world manipulation is out. Rusi goes into the back line, finds the stun onto the mage. Sindrak almost gets caught, uses that flicker to get away, while Arctic now putting on the suppressive fire. Hotun looking to get out of harm's way. Is that going to be enough? It looks like Titan Esports are so low right now, still juggling around as ZZ picks up the Lord, and now able to hopefully find themselves an escape. 3 down for Infinity, but they pick themselves up a Lord.
The Lord here goes for Infinity, but what cost? 3 players here down, but now the Lord is heading in the upper side, and I don't think that this is going to do much, because with the last 2 players now, there's no chance to working in the macro. There's no chance to cause pressure in the other lanes here. Fanboy, all he can do is watch their Lord being taken down, being melted so fast, and not even that. They already lost. They also lost the turret number 2 in the top side.
Yeah, and right now, like I said, I'm just not seeing the use of the chip. Fanboy has kind of really been held down. I feel like Influence Rage doing a good job making sure that they stick together. In fact, the only times I see the ults come out from Fanboy is usually around a lot of these Lord fights, which, I mean, it's not really repositioning too much when you're throwing down the portals and everybody's already right next to each other. So very interesting use here right now for Decided Titan Esports, doing a good job. 9-15 lead, just over 1K for Titan right now.
Yeah, so we're heading out the 17 minutes and a half. 15 kills here for Titan Esports. Both teams here, like, the map situation is almost even, you know. Only the high ground here for Influence Rage, while Infinity still have the tower number 2 in the mid lane here, standing with a half HP. But now both teams now are working on pushing the minion waves on the sides and the mid lane, waiting for the next Lord. But because they know that even with a simple mistake here can be the end of this game.
Yeah, and we've seen it before when it comes to when we start getting late game, especially with a Zushin on the enemy team. You really are kind of waiting to get to that super late game so that you can get the power you need to be able to burst her down in the back. And especially for a pick like a Wanwan that needs sometimes. Fury's sitting at 3-0-8 right now, so doing a good job despite Wanwan kind of falling out of favor when it comes to the meta right now. The only problem for me is the kit of Wanwan. When you use that crossbow at Tang, 90% of the time what you're getting your stacks on is going to be a tank or something heavier, somebody that's trying to get a lot of that damage, trying to tank a lot of that damage on the front line. And that's where I feel like Wanwan can kind of falter, because that's where the crossbow at Tang is going to be actually heading onto, is going to be the first person who's actuating onto you. Now Lord is up. Looks like the side of Titan Esports are looking to find themselves a good positioning to get. Oh, we have a little gank at the bottom lane. Is that going to be enough to take down Arctic? A big surprise for the side of Infinity, who are able to find the max out there. Is it going to be enough? Portal's coming back. Now they're coming in on to the side of Titan Esports. Big pop-up comes out from the Lord. The rest of Titan Esports are trying to back up. Lionel taking a huge amount of damage. They're going around. Here comes the real world manipulation. Is it going to be enough? Down goes ZZ. And now Fanboy might be in a little bit of trouble. Fury, a huge amount of damage onto the Zabloch, finds a kill onto Sindrak on the backside. It looks like Steffi might be in a little bit of trouble, getting tank on the front side there. You see Fanboy trying to stalk down onto Steffi. 3-4 members locked on. Steffi is not long for this. World's gonna get picked off on the back there by Zabloch and Lionel. Do they have enough to be able to pick off this Lord? Fanboy, smartly, a great job by the team to find out Hotun. Fury on the side there. They want to make sure they clear this out. You don't want to. Oh my God, look at the damage on the Lionel. Fury on the side there. Lionel's gonna have to go back back to base, and that is going to end Infinity's squabble at this Lord.
It all went through it. Both teams here like came from the even because okay, Stefan was taken down, but he bought so much time for Titan Esports here, not letting the Lord getting a guarantee by Infinity. Now the Lord once again, Infinity is securing the Lord, no fighting back for Titan Esports. Okay, now the gank in the bottom lane to neutralize Arctic, it worked very well. They guarantee super minions in the bottom lane here. Now the Lord for Infinity. Everything now in the past few minutes was so in favor to Infinity now. The Lord heading in the bottom lane here. Now Infinity has the chance to work in the macro, to work like synchronizing the minion waves in the mid lane, in the top lane here. Meanwhile, the Lord is heading in the bottom lane.
Yeah, we've already got a full build for Fury. No boots on this Wanwan, just bare feet slapping around on the land of Dawn. Hopefully looking for a way to try to defend it. Oh, we missed with the ultimate coming from ZZ. Is that going to be enough? Arctic takes a heat of damage on the backside. Fury trying to get some damage onto them. Lord is starting to meet at the core. Just a sneeze of health left on that top turret. Rusi gets taken out by Arctic. And that is going to be one down for the side of Infinity. Basically, no towers left on the side of Titan Esports. That top tower, a strong gust of wind is going to knock that thing over.
Yeah, is that like a whistle in the tower in the top side here? That can be taken down. But now here comes Titan Esports once again. The chase continues.
Ooh, out comes the real world manipulation. They thought they had Lionel under control. And this is what I talk about. You've got the flicker, you've got the ultimate, you've got so many avenues of escape, and it's so hard. I feel like the only time they're actually able to get down onto Lionel on the Zushin is when he himself puts himself in the harm's way. I think 2 fights ago, you saw him dive a little too deep with his positioning and run right into the rest of Titan Esports and underneath a real world manipulation. So it's very tricky for them right now, but I feel like we're getting later and later. I feel like Titan Esports is getting a little bit more successful, but it's coming down to Fanboy. Is he going to be able to make use of a lot of these portals? We saw it already. As soon as he was able to take down Arctic, it immediately shifted the pace of this game.
I think that is definitely terrorizing Infinity so much. Did you see Zablack's build? He bought in Immortality and the Winter Crown. He wants to be very safe in the possible team fights here. To the Lord, you know, to the victory. So he is really concerned about that. What Steffi and Baxia, for example, of Hotun can do it in the back line or in the flank. So once again, the Lord in the pit, in the bottom side of the river, Steffi is the most aggressive one here for Titan Esports. Look at Fanboy. Look where Fanboy is here, trying to do something. Now Lord is getting reset, is getting started, so Infinity is trying to bait Titan Esports to the possible lasting fight.
Yeah, they're trying their best here, down to about 50%. Here comes Hotun from the side. He sees the Lord is low. Oh, he might be going to mid. It looks like they're going to have a little bit of a clash at mid. Is this going to be the opening that Infinity needs to be able to pick down this Lord? Lionel still creating that distance, is not getting picked off yet. Big pop-up lands for the Lord. ZZ takes it. He's going to use that ultimate to try to get in there. Scoops up the enemy jungler. Is that going to be enough time to get off this retribution? ZZ in the middle, looking for an angle. Can he find it? Looking for the retribution. ZZ gets the retribution in the midst of a Titan Esports fray. 3 members there, and ZZ still manages to get the retribution. And now Titan Esports on the run.
In the battle of retribution here, ZZ was the best, was even better here than Hotun, guaranteeing another Lord. Both teams have one player less, but the Lord is heading in the mid lane here. The question is Infinity will be able to finish this game now?
Yeah, right now you can see a huge gank
Stop
here
blocks.
that's going to be landed onto Steffi. Wondering if Steffi can try to get away.
Oh,
That's an entire
Steffi.
team there chasing him down. And, oh, actually
Whoops.
lasting a little longer than you think. Steffi just taking him for a little bit of a ride. Now Lord crashing down at mid, taking down to 25% health. That last and final tower, you can see ZZ just walks up and bashes down. Now we're looking for the rest of the team members from Infinity to come in here onto Titan Esports. Now spit out Hotun in trouble against the wall, getting taken down. Immortality has been procced. Another one coming in from Arctic. Lionel finds the kill onto Hotun, and that is going to be a first game for Infinity.
The first intense, chaotic game here in the best of 5 goes for Infinity. 1-0, Xena.
Yes, what a match that was. We had Titan Esports going in and getting their first 2 kills, but answered back by Infinity there. They kept it even the entire match right then and there, but then that macro at the end towards that third Lord by Infinity was them trying to do that backdoor, had them going for a run there. Titan was not able to do much there at that point.
And that's just kind of the power of a lot of those. I want to say it could have been rested all up on Zushin and them not being able to close the distance, but I felt like Fanboy did a great job being able to find the angles that they needed to get onto Arctic. Also, ZZ on that was able to kind of be able to get the great retribution to get the Lord in the midst of like 2 or 3 different members from Titan Esports underneath that Lord pit, still able to find the retribution. And I feel like that is what kind of rallied the team to that game-winning push.
Yeah, so it comes the victory for Infinity here. Like, as we were talking about, like, how this game were extending and some performance that we were talking about, especially with Fanboy, for example, with a chip choice that in the early game, in the mid lane, there was not so effective, but by the time that the game was passing, by the time that the minutes were passing in the game, Fanboy was like trying to find and trying to create some alternatives for Infinity here to get some advantage. And I think that the turning point was the gank in the bottom lane that they surprised. I think that it was the gold laner for Titan Esports. They took down the player, and then they guaranteed the super minions, and there was even a time enough for they heading back for the Lord to find a fight for the Lord. So by this time, I think that Titan Esports was like just a little bit concerned about what Fanboy was about to do, was about to start with this chip, you know. So there was one of the points, there was one of the reasons that like I felt that Titan Esports was trying to every time to find something to respond this making this creativity a box from a Fanboy here, that it didn't work for Titan Esports. But the first game was really intense.
Yes, it was
an intense game.
for sure.
Yeah, a lot of action that came out. Like I said, I was a little bit critiquey in the early bits of it because we didn't have too many ganks coming out from Chip, especially Fanboy, who I was already singing praises for because his chip has been outstanding. One of the big pluses that we've been getting from Infinity. It just took him time to be able to find the opportunities that he needed to be able to kind of stick onto Arctic as well. As the matches progressed on there, that I felt like I think you're right. I think the turning point for Infinity was definitely the gank onto Arctic, and that just gave them the momentum. Then when that second fight came out though, just being able, ZZ underneath, I think it was Hotun was there, I think Arctic was there, they both tried the best that they could to stop ZZ, who was still able to get the retribution. So a great job there by Infinity, by ZZ, to kind of have the patience that he needed.
Yes.
Yes, for sure. There did an amazing job. Just Lionel on the Zushin. You were saying that she's a force to be reckoned with, that Zushin, and she was this time around as well. She traveled real well around with Fanboy there, making sure that they were in most of the team fights together to make sure they get that CC for the team to come in and get those wins. All right, so right here, some players follow the pace, but this one is set. I just said Lionel taking that MVP with 824 KDA, 81.5 total damage, and 689 golds per minute. Oh, Zushin, Prioban, we all say.
Yeah, we can all say that Lionel is a very good mid laner, one of the best that we have in AMER South. But it also shows the power of Zushin so far in the meta, you know, because we're seeing almost 100% of prioritizing here to be banned, to be picked, you know. And in this first game here, he was the responsible for guarantee the victory for Infinity. And we are talking about global ban. We're seeing so many people in the chat like, okay, better ban cheap. Oh, this machine will be come again. But no, guys, we are talking about global ban. So Infinity is not allowed to repeat these heroes in this match anymore. But Titan Esports can pick these heroes, you know, because that's what a global ban is. The dynamic, the creativity here for the draft, it is still happening. But still talking about Lionel here with the Zushin, with a very Zushin. It's like it's almost unfair here to play with this mage because she has mobility, she has